electricity, tell you about the principle of its operation. The principle of operation of such a mechanism is very simple. The picture shows how this should work. A tower is made on a chain mechanism, water containers are suspended, it looks like an escalator. Only horizontal. I think that it is clearly drawn how this mechanism should work. To begin with, a frame-type tower is being built. On the upper and lower flywheel of the chain fastener ring, water containers are attached to the chain. On the upper flywheel, we attach a speed-boosting gearbox, about 1 in 100, so that while the upper flywheel is turned once, 100 revolutions are produced on the output shaft of the gearbox. And the increased speed of the output shaft of the gearbox will drive the water pumps. It is necessary for 20 revolutions of the output shaft of the gearbox to fill the upper tank with water. So the mechanism, having a large supply of energy in the form of lower tanks filled with water, will be constantly under high voltage and rotate, driving the generator, producing free energy. Since the energy reserve is in the form of filled water tanks, this energy reserve is enough to feed, to force friction, to fulfill the golden rule of mechanics. And so that the generator can generate electricity. And it will actually work. Because there were no mechanisms with a reserve of energy yet. I just want to say that the secret of this mechanism is a large reserve of energy in the form of filled containers with water, and then the force of gravity is turned on. The force of gravity is unfairly neglected. Although the entire universe and all processes in the universe occur due to the force of gravity. Thanks to gravity, the stars light up. Thanks to gravity, our sun shines. Thanks to the force of gravity, the earth and everything on it can exist. But people neglect the great and powerful gravity. Gravity is stronger than the sun and wind, gravity is stronger than water and fire. The force of gravity contains an inexhaustible supply of energy. We just need to learn how to take it. Thanks to the inexhaustible force of gravity, in the near future, all of humanity will be provided with electricity. Because it's simple and free. We have a chance to leave a clean land to our descendants. Now we will look at the mechanisms that were designed by past generations of developers, and because of which the law of conservation of energy was derived, which reads as follows: that the work of such mechanisms is impossible, and leads away technical progress in the wrong way. Yes, there is no energy reserve in this mechanism, and a small jet of water would not be able to turn this mechanism. And even under the general laughter of compatriots, no one even wanted to try to make these mechanisms. Also, all subsequent projects could not work without a reserve of energy. And on this basis, the law of conservation of energy was derived. No one even raised their head up to look and ask. And as the universe continues to move and everything that fills it, ask where so much energy comes from. It is better to come up with a law and stop technological progress. Of course, progress did not stop, it went down a dirtier path. Now we will look at modern hydroelectric power plants, and due to the fact that technical progress has gone the wrong way, hydroelectric power plants are not effective and dangerous for nature. It is necessary to flood huge territories of the earth during construction. And if such a station collapses, it will be a disaster of destruction on the scale of the largest tsunami. Technologies used by modern hydroelectric power plants: this is an ancient wheel that has taken the form of a turbine. Water passes through a pipe and rotates the turbine. To increase the water pressure, you have to build huge dams. This is an advanced ancient wheel, there is no energy reserve. Therefore, this is extremely inefficient. Look at the picture on the right. If you use the principle of the energy reserve, hydroelectric power plants would be lower and more efficient. Because there is a huge force of gravity at work here, which causes the generators to produce energy tens of times more. This can be seen even by an inexperienced mechanic. And nature is less exposed to barbaric treatment. Also, let's look at this picture. There is a network of hydraulic rams near the river. This is a device that, with small differences in the water level, is able to raise water to a greater height. And if we put 1,000 of these hydro rams, and in combination with an installation with a reserve of energy, you can supply electricity to an entire city. I have already started making this mechanism with my own hands. First you need to weld a metal tower. The frame is ready, you need to make it all rotate to attach special wheels. Since special wheels need to be ordered and it costs more, I decided to use bicycle wheels. I fixed the wheels on the pipes in the mounting points. I used bearings, put on a chain so that the chain did not slip. I decided to cover the wheel and the chain with rubber. Then it won't slide off. At first, I made a gearbox out of bicycle wheels, but after testing, I had to redo it. Since the wheel step-up gearbox is large and inefficient. Then I made a gearbox out of bicycle sprockets. The design is small and more efficient. I wanted to use this type of water pump. I think this pump is the most efficient. This pump pumps both on the rise of the piston and on the descent. A very good invention. I tested the pump by making an experimental sample from a plastic pipe and 2 check valves. Works well. The resistance is minimal. Water tanks will be attached to these chains, and I am currently testing the pump for a higher height. First I wanted to fit a piston pump through the crankshaft. Here's what it looks like. But then I accidentally came across this video on YouTube, where guys used bicycle traction to drive a vortex pump. This idea seemed to me more feasible to implement in my project, and I decided to use this technology to supply water. I decided to make the pump myself. In it I used spare parts from sewer pipes, a turbine made of tin. I attached the tin water boxes to a chain, and stretched the rubber on the chain so that there would be no slippage. I made the lower tank out of linoleum, and glued a hose at the bottom to pump water into the pump. After that, the water rises to the top. In the end, the experiment is successful. Now I have plans to make a high-quality mechanism. I roughly calculated that in order for the unit to generate 1 kilowatt of electricity, you need to load a pressure of about 8,000 kilograms. This future mechanism requires a serious approach. You need to make a foundation, a stronger frame, spare parts need to be ordered. This requires a lot of money. If any of you would like to help financially, I would be very grateful. Even a little help on your part can advance the project. The links will be in the description. The next mechanism I plan to make is in such a format that you can increase the force of the pressure by making a semicircle, so as not to go up. In this configuration, the pressure increases by 2 times, so as not to make the mechanism 2 times higher. I will also publish a step-by-step process for making a fuel-free generator. Good luck to everyone and bye.